Saint-Genès, that each moment, instead of being part, as it is in people that are honest, or have the possibility of total honesty, and who relate, where life is a series, and I don't mean linear, but it's an ever-growing accumulation, catalyzing of past extending into future, where life goes on. Instead of it being that, the now, which is the reassertion of the lie, is not a time or place or event in a life. All of the person's life is focused on that moment. It must bear everything. All of my possibility for the future, because it's like, it's like all of the past hinges on whether you, the other person, go with my lie. What's going to happen now is a part of that, and the only possibility of the lie going on is if you believe it. In other words, past, future, and present is all focused on now, which means that each moment is life and death. And all of the times in the past when the lie was believed are irrelevant if you don't believe the lie now, because I could die now. Even if I've crunched you into believing it 1,000 times, if you don't believe it now, everything will fall apart. The past and the future will tumble into the moment, and I can't handle it. So that what happens is, as time accumulates, powerful lie rationalized as truth, and all this unlived life, there grows an ever bigger drama which projects all of time into moment. And the whole pressure in a relationship with a liar of this ever-growing life and death thing is on the person lied to. The whole issue is whether the lie will be believed, gone on with, participated in, and in that sense, because this person brings no freedom, no sense of self to the experience, because the lies have gotten them out of touch with self and identity. Hence, they are totally insecure. The whole drama for the relationship does not rest on a mutuality of responsibility between two people. The responsibility all shifts to those people who participate in the lie with the person. The parent that's lied to, the child that's lied to, the spouse, the lover, the community that's lied to. And the whole issue, and we've just gone through a very dramatic experience of this kind of thing. In the case of Richard Nixon, the whole issue is, what do you feel about me? I have no responsibility. I'm just telling you the truth, which is the lie. I have no responsibility toward you. The whole issue is, do you believe me? Are you loyal to me? And what loyalty is belief in lie and doing actions which deny the lie. Will you be loyal? Will you believe in me? Will you have faith in me? And will you put your money where your mouth is? Will you do things from it? So that when you have relationships with liars, the nature of the experience is pressure. And the pressure begins with the first lie, and it does nothing but grow. And at times when you are with liars that are at the heart of the lie, the pressure is so great that you either experience it as, I'm just going to fly out the window. I mean, it's like it's experienced as dizzying. You know, it's so big that it takes me away from my sense of myself, my tree of truth, my identity. I'm just carried away. It's even experienced physically as I'll just float out the window. This thing is so powerful, I'm dizzied by it, or sometimes the pressure is felt as a going nuts inside with tension. You know, it's pulling my hair. What can I do? If I scream, if I scratch myself, if I run down Westwood yelling like a mad person, it wouldn't do any good. I'm just crawling out of my skin. It's that kind of pressure when you're at the heart of a lie. It's all of you short-circuited by something that isn't true. And the thing that forces the lies to be ever more powerful is that you, as a truthful person relating to a liar or somebody that would be ready to deal at some level, the lie, in order to perpetuate itself, must always make itself more powerful than your identity, than your demand for truth in the relationship, so that the lie can never stay stable. The trip has to get bigger and bigger in order to hold you down from confronting and not believing. And obviously the vehicle for that is playing on our self-doubt. The liar trades on the vulnerabilities and the self-questions of the person involved in the lie, and far more cleverly than at a manipulative level, although some liars have done it so long they could put into words the crunches they put on people. They do it instinctively. Their instinct of self-preservation smells out those places where you're vulnerable, and they stir around in those. And that's the whole phenomenology of they're getting kids, parents, lovers, and friends over the barrel. And the dynamic of being over the barrel is that the liar will accuse us of what we are afraid is true of us. And the price of sustaining the lie is that somehow we aren't going to be as bad as we think we are, which puts, again, the liar in the position, in the responsibility-free position of only having this to do. The liar's only responsibility is to either judge you as the ultimate betrayer of people or to spare you of that judgment. The liar has no other responsibility but to judge you or not. Hence, the liar becomes important to the people lied to, what they think of them. And sometimes those dynamics have very much to do with the powerful lying manipulators that are at the heart of families, mothers and fathers, with authority figures in those positions, with lying lovers that become very important to a group of people. And the importance is not the experiences, but what that person thinks of you. Because we are desperately afraid of what they think of us, because somehow they've gotten their hands into our vulnerabilities, into our Achilles heel, and they wait to judge us if we don't go on with the lie. And from that, as well as the liars continually evolving the lie into rationalization and finally into value, that I'm a good person, that I lied. And in fact, I'm a better person than the people who are truthful. From that pressure, The liar promotes, as Sartre describes about the thief in Genet, the liar promotes his or her sainthood. So that not only out of their becoming the judge, but out of the madness of the way this thing works out, those people who are involved with liars and a lying relationship are pressured to come to feel that the liar is a special person, and in fact, that the liar is more important than they are and more important than anybody. And the fear is the opposite. The fear is I'm being ripped off, used, manipulated, I'm saving their feelings at my expense, but maybe they're really better than I am. I don't understand it. And I think they're liars, but they're really not. And they go on relating to me when I have doubts in them. They must be great people. And I'll tell you the madness of this one. This is in the midst of one revelation after another, a whole group of people in this country believing that not only was Richard Nixon a good president, but maybe he was the best. It's that erection to sainthood. And somehow we just don't all understand him. And it is his genius or his faith or his strength of character that in spite of our lack of faith, he went on with the mandate and would have if we had not betrayed him. And incidentally, right now, we are seeing the right-wing reaction in many different ways. Those of you that heard the program on KPFK 2 weeks ago that was butchered of mine has to do with the FCC being forced during Watergate to liberalize policies because they had no grounds on which to do it, and now the conservative aspects of the FCC are reacting violently now to that freedom because they can get away with it, and the whole issue of language is being suppressed all over the country in the name of the old bullshit. And there's no question that a part of it is that now the liberals are going to pay for having wronged the saint. Okay, let's take about 15 minutes and we'll talk some more.